Hello everyone and welcome again on AIS platform to discuss and talk about something new. Today is Father's Day and I'm sure everyone must be celebrating this day in one or the other way with their father, either giving them a card or sending them some flower or taking them for breakfast or lunch, or some might have planned dinner, or some might have sent gift if they were not around, their father not being in the same city. And we feel that I done my job. I have done a great favor by recalling my father. But if you look at from Vedic perspective, Father's Day has nothing to do with just sending a gift of flower or some kind of tools which my father used to like, or another gift, or even spending some hours, whether father is living in another city or in the same city, or if someone's father, mother has gone older and we have put them into rest home, because even though my house will be big enough to have 20 people, might have 7-8 bedrooms, but I don't have the place for my father and mother in that house, and hence they have been spending their last phase of life in the rest home. In Vedic aspect, because in that time there were no such days, Father days, Mother days. But what was there? It was very well written and documented that at least on this day, what we are talking now as a Father's Day, this is the day given to all the children, either daughters or son, an opportunity to sit with themselves and think in all sincerity that how I have spent my life with my father, how I have paid my gratitude, my respect, my love towards my father throughout in my life. Not only for one day, but every moment when I have fulfilled every their desires, have acknowledged every direction, every guidance what he has given me. And if I am able to reflect my life today with sitting with myself and thinking that whatever I am today, what my father had contributed towards that. And you will be amazed to recognize that whatever I am today, in whatever level, in whatever capacity, either as a good husband, as a good father myself, or successful in my life, it is all because the direction and the guidance and the support my father has given. But contrary to it, it is most of the time is opposite. Wherever I am today, I will always think that it is only because of my hard work, my effort. If I have acknowledged or achieved something in my life, either in a successful businessman or a businesswoman, or I'm in a good post, I'm in a CEO, director, or in a consultant, or anywhere, it is only because of my own education, my own effort. And my father has nothing to contribute toward that. This is where the difference is in today's celebration of Father Day and the actual celebration of the Father Day. You will find many of us throughout the year don't even have 5 minutes to sit with our Father, and we will have hundreds of excuses to legitimate those of my actions. I am busy, I have so much to do, I have my family commitment, I have my business commitment, I have to do this and that, but what I don't have is only that few moments to be with my Father. And even though we as a children or a son or daughter have put them into rest home, we don't even have the time to go and spend half an hour, not more, on a weekly basis. If not weekly basis, at least fortnight. And you will be amazed to see many children don't even visit them for months and months. And this is where this time is, to look inside, go inside of your own body, ask your conscious that what I have done for my Father. We are not even in a slightest position to pay back what our Father might have done, but even giving moment to acknowledge and accept and recognize what He has done. Many will definitely say that I don't have a good relationship with my Father, and when you look at and talk to them that what is the reason, he or she might say he was very abusive, verbal abuse. For a moment, yes, we do acknowledge that this is not the right way, right? But that abuse, verbal abuse, for what reason was that? Because it is our own interpretation. Even at that time when we were teen, young, to look at and perceive that if he is a bit harsh, if he is a bit strong and telling me not to do certain thing, they seems to mean as a verbal abuse. Even though those were for my well-being. He was trying to give me some guidance that certain actions what I'm doing is not right, and I might regret later on in my life. But at that time, they were something as an abuse to us. And some might say that, yes, I don't like my father because he was having a physical abuse, because he might have hit me sometime or frequently. But then, yes, again acknowledging that this is not the way to deal with the children, but again, we need to sit back. Or have we ever tried to sit and think that what for he was so harsh? Was it his habit to do so? Because sometimes you might say he was under the influence of some sort of either the alcohol or drugs or something, and then he was doing that. Yes, definitely it brings a bit of frustration and a bit of different emotions towards him. And that's how one's life keep going. But then that also is very important for us to evaluate, process. Because when we are having those memories which ultimately become unresolved emotions, knowingly or unknowingly, my behavior might be the same towards my children. Because when you have not resolved those thoughts, then there is always chance that we naturally flow in the same experience what has been experienced by myself. But if I have worked on those emotions, then I can learn from them in a much more better way. And that learning will be that I want to be a good father towards my children when I will get the opportunity. But saying so, going back to my relationship with my father, I do remember his harsh word or harsh action. But then I forget rest what he has done for me, and only remember that time, and then that will make our relationship more and more bitter. Some people might not even have anything to do with their father for such a long time or for their whole life. But when sadly father has left this universe, they will regret, they will have a lot of deep-seated emotions coming up and impacting them in a wrong way, because they never resolve those emotions. And this is where this Vedic learning talk about, that when you are, if not able to do it all the time, this is the one day at least you must sit with yourself and try to work on those emotions which are deep down, And if you can't do anything, at least have that one solution to give forgiveness to him. You can work on this process, what we call as our clinical guided meditation part, under which the visualization comes up, and say, I'm forgiving you for whatever things you have done, but I still acknowledge what good you have done. He might have spent so much time of his with you when you were growing as a child. He might have gone out of his own comfort zone to provide you something which you might have asked for. Without knowing, without acknowledging, without recognizing and remembering those things, I only remember he was harsh. And that is where the bad memories comes up. And those memories will then keep going with us. And hence, this is an opportunity for all of us. If we have not done so far this process, try to look at now onwards. Today is the time that we can sit and make a commitment, and make an honest commitment that I will make sure as much as time I can spend with my father, not only waiting for the Father Days to send a nice gift, but acknowledging no matter how much busy I am in my life, because we all have time. It is only our own thoughts that I don't have time. Don't think that if I will spend few hours with my father, the whole world is going to stop. World will keep going, but you will not get that opportunity again if your father leave this universe. So those who are fortunate have their father in the same way as your mother, then spend some time with them on a regular basis. And if you can have them with you as much as possible, you will be fortunate. Because what we always forget, that wherever we are in our life, it is always the blessing of our elders who are father-like. Their blessings, their thoughts, their grace is always showering on us, and we are progressing. This is another way to mitigate our own ego. And this way we can pass on the right message to our children also. But the problem is of this current era, whatever you call them, X, Y, or whatever type of the generations you talk about. In these, we all have our own thoughts. We don't even give any importance to our parents. We don't want to share with them any of our decisions or actions. And we just think that my life is for myself. We have become so much centered today that when we realize about this, it is too late. And then that person has to suffer then, whatever time is left. Why these sufferings comes up? Again, Our Vedic teachings talk about that majority of the time we only concern about our physical body, which is known as sthula sharira. So physical body with the different ailments coming to our organ is what we will be acknowledging and trying to mitigate them and trying to work on them. But in Vedic aspect we have 3 levels of our body. Apart from this gross body, we do have a subtle body, casual body, which is known as Suksham Sharir and Karan Sharir. And in those levels of the body, we have different experiences. In the same way, apart from thinking that my body is made of 5 elements, which is again the understanding what Ayurveda gives us, and also talk about that these 5 elements also play a role in creation of this creation, which we call as macrocosm. So macrocosm and we are the microcosm, that is the one part, and then it relates with our modern science understanding too, right? And we try to keep looking with our wellness and well as the pathologies from that aspect. But then Ayurveda never end there. Ayurveda talk about that whether our physical ailments are associated with our lifestyle, with our diet, with our environmental factor and mental factor. But then there are many more deeper levels and deeper energetics which play a huge role in our well-being. And those energetics can get affected through our thoughts, through our even the slightest thinking of something which might not, or you can say inability to process your thoughts. And if we are not doing that, not able to use our mind in a correct way, not able to use our senses in a correct way, what happens? We impact our deeper layers of our foundation, and those deeper layers relate with our 172,000 nadis, which are connecting each individual's body with the different cells. And then those 172 nadis are governed by 3 prime nadis, which is known as Sushmana, Ida and Pingla. And then further than these 3 nadis are revolving around the prime foundation of each individual, which we talk about our 7 chakras. Now these understanding are not yet even get experienced or even being looked into by our so-called new scientists, those who are trying to understand this whole creation. They have created various machines. Now a lot of inventions has happened. This is what we call as advancement of the technology. You have X-ray machines in the beginning, then we have the scans machine, then we have MRIs. All those things are able to give you the understanding and more clear views of what is going in our body with our physical organs, and then treatments can be planned according to. But then they're still not able to take the image of what we call as our soul. And I'm hopeful all of us do recognize that there is something what we call as spirit, energy or soul, Atma, which is responsible for our existence. And all our actions impact on those levels. And then if our action start impacting on those different levels, what we call as chakras and those three nadis, and they start getting stagnated, then the type of the problems we get will be hard to correct. And that's why each individual keeps suffering at deeper level. And then their solutions are not in a quick fix solution, switch on and switch on. It takes a long effort. And then the long effort is, first of all, the most important is to acknowledge my wrong deeds, my wrong thoughts. And that is the starting point for today. Because there is no one as powerful in individual's life as our mother and father. Due to their efforts, we are in existence. And what you can see your mother has done for us, keeping us in her womb for 9 months and having all the sufferings and the pains to go through giving birth to an individual. And then the mother and father, they spend the time to upbring the child. What we remember only their harsh action, which does not apply to our thoughts and not the other. So that is what our Vedic understanding gives us, that time is there. If not, you could do rest of the year. Today is the day. Sit and look at what my father has done for me. And if you can take an opportunity, and if the opportunity is that you can go and meet your father physically and say sorry if you have not having a good relationship with him, this will be your best gift to your father. But those who have a wonderful relationship with their father and mother, they are the blessed one. Because this is what we always need to remember. So hence, try to understand the importance of these days and not limit them into just the gifts and the flowers. Thanks everyone.